The US is stuck in its ways, it's stuck in debt, and how is it ever going to get out? You came here for the truth, so let me unveil that for you. In today's video, we are going to talk about debt. We're going to look at what the United States has been doing. The monopoly, is it possibly over? All of that to be discussed here today. I'm going to explain what this means for you, for the economy as a whole, beginning with this. You can see the student loan forgiveness. It gets a record number of public comments. People are interested. They're saying, me, I want my student loans to be forgiven. Of course, they're doing this at a time in which student loans are like $1.7 trillion. A lot of people are saying, I'm just not going to pay it because I think at some point this guy is going to wipe out my debt. Why pay it? That's a concern. There's way too much debt that people have encountered, average being $400 payments per month for student debt. Seniors have student debt. It's crushing. Now, what about tariffs? Look at this. U.S. set to impose 100% tariff on Chinese electric vehicle imports. They want to protect domestic industry from the cheap competition. We've seen this before. Looking at this, what about sharply raising tariffs on Chinese EVs, steel, and solar cells? The quadruple tariff aims to keep excessive cheap Chinese EVs at bay and protect the U.S. auto industry. You get that? Okay. What about this? China produces 55% of all steel. And they, whoever gets in next, in the presidency, want to have tariffs. Do you see a problem with that? Steel is 55% of it coming from China. And now you're going to impose tariffs. Tariffs on the EVs, okay? Tariffs on everything. All these different things are applying tariffs. And the government at the same time is forgiving debt where they can. Who is going to pay for all of this? If you impose a tariff, if they're going to impose a tariff on steel, does that mean that steel is just going to like the manufacturer, like let's say I make a product with steel in the United States, for instance, but I'm importing from China. So now I'm going to go, okay, I got an idea. I'm just going to take out of my profit margin. I'm not going to make as much money. Or am I going to say, oh, there's a tariff there. You know what? Let's source from a different country, or let's try to source from within our own country. Is there a reason why they would go all the way to the other side of the world in order to source something? It's because the price is lower. If they do all of these things, you have to pay a higher price. You have to pay more for your vehicles, for your consumer products. You will see the prices of everything rise in the future. It doesn't matter about what inflation rate they talk about, core PCI, all that nonsense. Inflation, real inflation, price inflation, that's going up. You gotta understand this. Okay, it's huge. America's war machine runs on rare earth magnets. China owns that market. Okay, 92% of the global market share. Now, let's be clear about something. It isn't the fact that they have all those resources. It's that they're doing all the refining. They're doing the mining of these things. Nobody else is. And so that's really all that matters. Oh, you could say, well, okay, we'll just do the mining, we'll do the refining, we'll do all that. Okay, if you start today, mines take years and years and years and years to get up online. And a lot of them don't work out. So that's there for a long time. Expect prices. This is my message for now. We'll talk about more in a second. Expect prices to go much higher. If you think prices are high today, it is going to be shocking to what you see in the future. Apple's India iPhone output hits $14 billion in China's shift. Now, this is good. If you want diversification of the supply chain and everything, great. You could see what's happening. There is a shift that's been going on. A lot of companies are saying, can we do business in Vietnam? Can we do business in India? What other options do we have? It depends on what you're trying to manufacture. If you are Apple, you could just set up a factory, or if you're Foxconn, actually, you could set up a factory in India. You could set up a factory in Vietnam, and you could diversify that way. But if you are, just small, medium-sized business, you can't do that. You can't just open up factories and set up logistics in other countries that generally don't have that. It doesn't work like that. Lo and behold, low tech friend showing jobs flow from China. That's clear. If they're low tech, if you're making t-shirts, okay, if you're making Lululemon pants, you could move that to other countries. Okay, that is happening to some degree, but they're just on point. They're just on point. Although wages have risen, so if requires a lot of manual labor, if it's something that somebody's sewing, somebody's stitching, these type of things, if it needs to be leather, steel, whatever, those type of products could be made in other countries. They could be made in India, for instance. Lower wages and so on. While the US pays little attention to Latin America, China has moved in. And this is one area. They've done a similar thing to Africa and other places too. Largely, you could see what's happening. The sphere of influence for the United States is different. It's different than it once was. It's very clear. But China is basically trying to go out there and say, hey, we're going to make deals with these countries and we're going to have infrastructure there. We're going to build the ports there. We got the Belt and Road, or One Belt, One Road, depending on where you're coming from. Social Security and Medicare finances look grim as overall debt piles up. Okay, so I want to show you something. So bringing that all together, what does this mean? You've got to pay, that's the long and short of it. You got to pay higher prices. That's coming. They are going to slash your services. So your things that you've been used to, or the things that you've been told you're going to be getting, they're going to slash it. They're going to cut from that. You have to be prepared for that. You have to be aware that this is happening. At the same time, the monopoly that was once there, it's going slowly but surely, it's going away. The dominance of the United States is slowly being weaned off. You got to realize that, and you've got to diversify in any way. There's something called flag theory. If you understand flag theory, this to me was one of the biggest revelations. In fact, Finance Friday crew, let's talk about flag theory, and we have anyway. But let's do a whole segment on it. But basically, what happens is you got to plant flags in different areas, and each area it's beneficial for different reasons and so on. And that's the type of thing that a lot of people, yes, not everybody, but if you can, you definitely should be. That is my message to you. Okay. If you want to know more about the Finance Friday, like what the heck is this guy talking about? There's a link at the top of the description. Before you go, hit that thumbs up button. When you do so, you're supporting this channel. By clicking that little button that's down there, you're actually notifying the algorithm to say, hey, this is a good video. Show it to other people. If nobody hits that thumbs up button, nobody gets to see the video. That's how it works. It doesn't actually get shown to all the subscribers. It's only a subset of subscribers. The more people that hit that like button, the more then the second subset of subscribers will see it, and so on and so forth. So I need you to hit that thumbs up button, comment. I read all the comments every single day, and I've been doing that since 2011. Okay, so I want to just say thank you for being here today, and as always, I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.